My name is Connor Weber. I'm a team lead here at Vaddo, and I've been working here for about 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years in July. I have a daughter. Her name is Emma. I'm originally from a little tiny town called Watauga, Texas. It's in the Fort Worth, Dallas area, so I am a Cowboys fan, of course. My upbringing was a little bit weird. We moved to Crosby when I was about 9 years old, and I spent the majority of that 5 to 11 years old total, probably, with my grandparents sometimes, and then with my mom and my dad the other times. Moved to Conroe eventually when I turned about 12 years old, and that's where my family lived all through high school, and then through college as well. I moved up to Arkansas for college, a little tiny private college where I got to wrestle, which was awesome. I got to take care of my degrees. Then moved back to Houston once I finally graduated, and I ended up at Vaddo within about 2-3 months after I graduated, actually, which was pretty awesome. My grandparents own a farm, so I lived on the farm part of my life. So I was kind of raised in the, you don't buy something new if it ain't broke. If it's kind of broken, you can fix it. That's okay. That's how relationships work. That's how life works. That's how cars work. That's how tractors work, especially on a farm. So that was kind of something I grew up working with, was how to use my hands, how to build fires, how to fish, how to hunt, stuff like that, how to take care of the land, how to take care of yourself, how to wake up early, which I'm still terrible at, but I'm working on. And then kind of like, all right, how do you build yourself? How do you grow yourself? It's an everyday kind of process. You wake up early and you work on the field, and then you eventually reap what you sow. It's an age-old saying that they all say, but when you do it on the farm, it's a really good reminder of like what actually happens. You're gonna do the work now. It's gonna grow, it's gonna build. You just have to watch it and you have to see it grow over time. And it's not gonna be the funnest process. It's not gonna grow immediately. But over time, you see the growth and you see the work that you put in to build that growth. And it's just an amazing feeling because you know, I put that work in, I developed that, I built that, and that's on me. That's what I built, and I'm very proud of something like that. So I think farming both taught me a lot of toughness, a lot of grit, things like that, but it also taught me to see what happens when you put a lot of work in and you see something grow and develop. Once again, in relationships and parenting, whatever it is, you put the work in on the front end and you watch it grow over time. I'm going to be extremely honest, overly honest, probably a little bit about my wrestling career. Mostly because I know my high school coach and my college coach will both be watching this video. So I was never the natural athlete. I was never the strongest kid. I know you hear that from a lot of kids, but I was the pudgy little kid who didn't really have a whole lot of strength. He played sports because I wanted to and I thought they'd be fun. The original reason for my wrestling, it wasn't because I actually wanted to play the sport. I made a bet with one of my older brothers that I could out-letterman him, meaning I think he had 6 too. He was a 3-year starter on football, 2-year starter track, 2-year starter for wrestling. So he was decked out on his Letterman. And for me, that was just something that inspired me. I was like, okay, I'm gonna out-letter him. That was the idea. Now this is a very unathletic 12, 13-year-old Connor that's definitely not looking like he's about to be a varsity starter in any sport. So I started wrestling my freshman year. I definitely figured out early on that if I put in the work, it was gonna yield the result I wanted. Same thing with farming. It immediately equated to me. I'm not good at it yet. I see the very, very minimal growth that you see when you're farming the very first time, and you're like, that doesn't look like anything cool, but I know what it can grow into if I get really good and I practice really hard. And I thought, okay, I can do that. I never expected what it did result in, which was I was the first person ever from my college to go to nationals. My junior year, I also went to nationals. My senior year, I was ranked number 8 in the country pretty much the entire season. It was a good reminder for me what happens when you do put in the work. So I'll be completely honest, sales wasn't something I expected to ever do. My degrees are in business and economics. That was entirely what the goal was, to do something like that. And there was a lot of other things I looked at right before this, but this one, I saw the culture, I saw the environment, I saw the people, I saw the connections they built, and I was like, I want to be part of that. It was something that, I guess it's the story of my life at this point. I wasn't good at it. It's kind of how it's supposed to work. If you're not good at something, right, you don't have the natural talent, okay, you got to make up for it with the other things you do have, which are hard work, which I definitely worked a lot harder, and that's what allowed me to grow here at Vaddo. I have great coaches, I have great environment, I have all this stuff being fed to me, but if I don't put in the work, it doesn't really mean anything. So you go from not making a whole lot of sales, not being very good at a process, to, I think it was last year when we did have our national conference, I was ranked number 3 in the country for wireless sales and for TV and internet sales. So when you have a good team around you and you have a good environment, it just provides that culture of growth where when you put in the work, you get the result. I've thought about like, all right, what does happen when I get to management? It's no longer much of an if anymore. It's like when I do it. So I'm doing the right things, I'm growing, and I know I can get to that point. So Now it's kind of changed to where I'm less focused on me and I'm more focused on like, okay, how much can I grow? How much can I develop? And who can I develop as other people? That's what Ryan has done to me. That's what he's done to Dean. That's what we've all helped each other, and we've grown in that kind of cultural environment. And now that's what I want to start providing, is I want to move into management so I can provide people with the opportunity that I was given.